So tell me, how do you act in the monastery as a priest during the time of the pandemics crisis?
It was a trying time because the people were very scared. People came from all over. The churches were closed. Many were closed. Many could only allow 10 people into the church.
Like in Belgium.
So services sparingly, with only a few people who could attend. But the therapy, the medicine that we needed to feed our souls and our bodies was the Holy Communion. So the devil created an impediment. We didn't in this monastery speak to each other as an active process, but every monastery acted the same. We stayed open.
Monasteries of Saint Ephrem.
All over here in Greece and there, under his Omophoreon, under his Peter Healy rather. We stayed open and we didn't wear masks. We offered Holy Communion, we offered confession.
Without changing the spoon, yes, with the same spoon.
We used the same spoon.
Okay.
We didn't make any innovations. And I'm a priest in a monastery with nuns. The nuns came from Greece. The Holy Yonah brought the nuns from Greece. They traveled 9,000 miles. They give up their beautiful monasteries in Greece that were well established to come to wherever Yonah picked out, which is a beautiful story, how he started each monastery. Very beautiful stories, blessed stories. But they all said, we've given a vow to death, and we're not going to let fear into our relationship with Christ. We don't fear anything. So we didn't notice any changes ourselves. We had more people because they could come there.
Nobody was infected.
Nobody got infections. We, early when it came out, we at the monastery got infected early. I think I gave it to everybody because my shelter with the 400 or 500 homeless women and children closed because of the pandemic. So everybody went to the streets, and I would give tents and sleeping bags. And I would go frequently, almost every day really, to take food and dry clothes and stuff and pray.
Help the people from the street.
On the street.
Mm-hmm.
And so many were sick, so I think I got it that way. I think I gave it to the nuns. But then we had immunity. I'm a doctor, we got natural immunity. And you get natural immunity to a virus, you're good for a long time, maybe forever. Certainly if you ever get it again, it would be a very minimal case. So we were vaccinated through the illness, and God allowed that thing to happen. He allowed it to happen. And everyone was good after that. Some of the nuns, our oldest nuns, didn't know they had it. They didn't know they had it. So it's Peter walked on water when he kept his eyes on Christ. And if we keep our eyes on the Lord, these distractions to test our faith, we can overcome them. But then it became a chance for vainglory because you wear a mask, you're weak. I don't wear a mask, I'm strong. We cannot have that attitude like that. We cannot have an attitude like that. We can never judge. Holy Yonah said we could just always flee from the temptation to judge. And God, Christ said he won't judge us. So that's a very important lesson for us all that we're trying to learn. I have holy nuns that I serve, and they practice obedience, they practice prayer. They learned a lot from the Holy Yonah, and so they teach me a lot. And the people come. And the people that come, they want to live an Orthodox life.
You're a doctor, you're a specialist. Why don't you get vaccinated against COVID-19? And do you have a problem at work because you don't vaccinate yourself?
Very good questions. I didn't think it was a vaccine. I'll say it again. I didn't, and I still don't think it's a vaccine. It was a novel injection that involved genetic therapy involved RNA. That the hypothesis was it would stay locally in the deltoid muscle where it was injected.
It's false.
It defied anything that I had learned. I've been a surgeon for 40 years. I trained at some of the best institutions in the world, including Harvard, and it defied everything that I'd learned about physiology, immunology, virology, it defied everything. It made no sense. But then it was a personal sadness to me because my friends in medicine succumbed to it. There was great pressure to get in line and to believe these things. But I couldn't, because as a priest, can I lie? I cannot lie. I mean, I condemn myself. So I have to tell people, no, you've had the disease. Why would you get vaccinated? But if you do, it's not a vaccination. It's an investigational shot of which we have no clue what the ramifications will be. However, as I kept a small list of my own close friends that I knew, that their personal doctors told them to get, quote, vaccinated. In the people over 70, the vast majority suffered a stroke.
The people with vaccinations.
I had relatives, I had bishops, priests, many, many people. So there's a big risk of a vasculitis in age, in diabetes with developing a stroke. I did my research as a doctor, and I decided that this was not a good way to go. It's so investigational. There was the clinical trials were all suspect. It was just not good science. But we know what happens with most viruses. The people who were at risk were the people who were older, significantly overweight, with diabetes, and that was those people are the ones who were at risk if they wanted to not go out in public. But we in the U.S., we did crazy things. We closed churches, but we kept nightclubs and strip clubs open. We closed small businesses, but we kept the big billion-dollar businesses, the Walmarts and the Targets, we kept those stores open. It was a trying time, but the gentleman, he had died at that time 2 years earlier. He said we would experience a great trial, but he would help us from the other side. And he helped us by enlightening us how to act as a monastery, as a guide for the people.
It is said that Father Ephraim showed himself at the beginning of, before the pandemic, just before, to a nun, and tell her that something terrible would come in the States, so it's better to get home in Europe.
That's right.
That's right.
That's a true story. I know that story. I know the nun. That's a true story.
What's the name of the nun?
I'm blocking her name right now. That's a true story.
So he wants you. He wants you.
Yeronda is he's present. He's